Everyone thinks peace plans are simple. End the fighting, sign a document, shake hands, and move on. But this one, it's different. In late 2025, a 28-point framework begins circulating quietly between Washington, Kyiv, and Moscow. Not as a public announcement, not as a formal treaty, more like a test balloon. And on the surface, it looks like a shortcut to ending the war. But once you dig into the details, it doesn't feel like peace. It feels like a trade. The plan starts with territory. Crimea, Donetsk, and Luhansk become Russia's permanently, not just controlled, but recognized. Kherson and Zaporizhia stay frozen exactly where today's front lines are. No advances, no withdrawals, just a new normal. Ukraine gets a small buffer zone in the Donetsk region, but only if it first pulls its forces back. And that's the pattern here. One concession triggers the next. This is the moment the deal stops looking like peace and starts looking like pressure. Ukraine caps its army at about 600,000 troops. It removes NATO membership from its constitution. No nuclear option, no foreign bases. Russia, in return, promises not to invade again and accepts international monitoring. On paper, that looks balanced. But one side is being limited. The other side isn't. And now we get to energy, which matters more than it looks. The Zaporizhia nuclear plant, the largest in Europe, becomes a shared 50-50 operation under UN oversight. That keeps the electricity flowing, but it also ties Ukraine's power grid to Russia's influence permanently. And beneath all the politics, this is what truly moves the deal: money. Hundreds of billions in frozen Russian assets begin flowing into Ukraine, not as punishment for Russia, but as investment returns. Reconstruction becomes a business model. And as long as everyone plays along, sanctions start to unwind. Trade routes reopen. Russia is invited back into markets it was pushed out of. It's a peace plan built around economics. Land becomes the payment. Stability becomes the product. And profit becomes the enforcement mechanism. The whole thing works like plumbing, a series of levers and valves. Adjust the pressure here, and something shifts over there. Turn one valve, and another has to move. The question is, what do Ukrainians think of a deal that trades territory for stability? And what does it mean when a war is ended not by victory, but by compensation? Because at its core, this framework isn't trying to solve the conflict. It's trying to contain it, to freeze the borders, lock in the concessions, and make it profitable for everyone not to start the war again. Maybe that works. Maybe it doesn't. But calling it peace might be generous. The takeaway? This isn't a ceasefire. It's a geopolitical mechanism, one that turns land into leverage, reconstruction into revenue, and security into a contract. It stops the fighting, yes, but it also sets the price for doing so. What do you think of this kind of deal? And what do you see happening in the next 5 to 10 years? It doesn't feel to me like a long-term solution, but I hope I'm wrong.